everybody's talking about this AI and how it changes. And if you look at most of the software, it's clunky old software with a search bar that they call AI. That's not helpful at all. This is an actual assistant that's going to help manage all your properties. And not only is the software going to be free, but now landlords can earn money from their software. What that means is if you take the symbiotic environment of what's going on, you take any map and you draw a circle. And what you're going to find is a whole bunch of rentals and a whole bunch of small local businesses.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple. Share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome to the Investor Fuel podcast, brought to you by Real Estate Pros. I'm your host, Freddie, and today I am in the podcast with someone I've been looking forward to connecting with, none other than Joe Edgar, who is the CEO and founder of Loca.us, who is making serious moves in the real estate technology space. Not only that, our Real Estate Pros audience is going to be so excited, Joe, to hear how you have found a gap in the market when it comes to many of our multifamily investors, property managers. Lean in, guys. This is going to be a good one. So let's dive in. So first off, for people who may not be familiar with your world, Joe, give us the short version. What's your main focus these days, and what markets are you operating in?
Yeah, great. I mean, it's a fun question because it's kind of what have you been up to lately? And after TenantCloud, which is a property tech, we ended up buying Show Mojo, Tenant Turner, College Pads, created a company called Property Tech. So very heavy in kind of the DIY and the REI space. And after that, we started Loca.us, which is Loca. We like to say we're crazy for local businesses. And it's really connecting local customers with cash rewards and local businesses. And so we've been building out these networks across the entire U.S., just the continental U.S. right now, not overseas, but building this network of all these local businesses and customers. And the way you can think of it is if, I hate plugging, but there's this coffee chain that's very large, has about 60,000 locations in our country. They have billion-dollar budgets. They've got this app that everybody loves to use and gives them points. They can buy stuff. So you all know who it is. You all know who it is. I don't like to plug the name. But the benefit they have is 60,000 locations. They are a real estate company. They're a monster. And local small businesses, there's by far more of them, but they don't work together. So they are all like crabs in a bucket fighting each other. Collectively, they do have a big budget, but independently, they're all competing and don't have much of a budget at all for going after customers. And then we as consumers, just in Austin area alone, which I'm in right now, I know you're in Chicago, but just in the Austin area, there are 46,000 local small businesses.
Wow.
We cannot manage 46,000 different apps. So if you want to work with all these local businesses, that's the heart, is have one app, all cash rewards. So you don't have to worry about, like I got this many points because I did this, carry the 2, divide by 7, sell my child, and then somehow you end up with a discount somewhere. There's none of that. You actually get cash rewards for every business. You know how cash works. You can withdraw it to your bank account or Venmo. Really easy, and connect with local businesses. And the big part that we're adding on to there is we're about everything we've been building up for is now going to this new release we have, which is stepping in back in to help those same investors I've been helping for a long time. I've been in real estate a long time, and everybody's talking about this AI and how it changes. And if you look at most of the software, it's clunky old software with a search bar that they call AI. That's not helpful at all. This is an actual assistant that's going to help manage all your properties. And not only is the software going to be free, but now landlords can earn money from their software. What that means is if you take the symbiotic environment of what's going on, you take any map and you draw a circle. And what you're going to find is a whole bunch of rentals and a whole bunch of small local businesses.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Those local businesses would love to give your tenants rewards, cash rewards for paying their rent on time, renewing a lease, or filling out an application. And so you as a landlord, by having the opportunity to put this together, you're like, wait, I get rent on time. My tenants are happy because they get rewards to local businesses. Local businesses got to find my local tenants, and all of a sudden they're paying for your software. And so landlords will get a portion of that as that goes around, and those tenants earn cash rewards. Tenants are going to have lower rent because they're actually learning actual real cash rewards. And this can equate to, $4 to $5 for every rent payment paid on time. I mean, it builds up over time. So you're talking about able to go and actually check and spend money at local businesses. And then the local businesses are now able to find new customers. So it's a great symbiotic opportunity that really, builds in a lot of community. And so that's really what we're working on. And it's coming live here, and we're working on its launch. So
I love it. What caught my attention about you, Joe, was the way you've been able to leverage a career as an ideator, a visionary, a founder, and even your financial relationships with the U.S. government being sought after as a thought leader in multiple markets while maintaining strong margins. And that's not easy, especially in this climate. What's been the key to keeping that machine running smoothly?
And that's a hard one because you're talking about how do we touch government, touch a private market? They work in two very separate functions. But the one thing that is unique across them all is everybody, if you really hone into it, everybody's trying to grow some type of local job. And that's actually pretty good. And so local businesses, landlords, even though they don't think about how it equates to jobs, on the one side, the government, it's true. The word job is like crack cocaine to a politician. So everything they build out is really trying to direct towards a job. Every program they establish is trying to produce jobs. And on the private sector, we don't think about it as I'm not trying to create a job. I create a job because I have revenue. But that symbiotic relationship comes together as you pull together companies. As you grow, you need employees. And as you need employees, they need places to live. And as you need more places to live, that brings its own economy. So that symbiotic relationship is really what I've focused on. And it's the heart of it. So if you really take a landlord is a local business. A local business can be anything from you're doing tires to selling food. And all of them are germane. They're very local. If you think of all marketing and what it used to be, say 50 years ago, all marketing was local, all of it. Radio, television, newspaper, billboards, all of that. That's how you did marketing. It was very local. And if the big boys wanted in, they had to go and pay a local advertiser to do it. The digital world changed everything. The digital world made the world around us closer, but it made the community that we're in farther away. And that's unfortunate, which means all of a sudden, radio is not working, newspaper doesn't even exist. All the ways billboards, if you happen to look it up, but all the ways that local business used to be able to get our attention doesn't exist anymore. And so now those local businesses, which include landlords, which include anyone who is local, and it's not the big boys, it's really about location. So the big monster corporations, they have lots of locations. That's what makes them a benefit, is they can use digital marketing. It helped them more than anyone, because they're like, I don't have to market on a location. I could just market on a specific message. I can say, do this. But then if you go local, you have to market on a message like, we have great food, but we only have one location, and it's right here. If you live 10 miles away from here, you're never going to come. 80% of customers for local business live within a 4-mile radius. And so they have the caveat of having to do the location as well. And so that's what's unique, is that real estate, local businesses, they are the same. I've been able to keep that theme throughout everything I've ever done. And I'm just keeping that theme now again with Loca, is that really it is about community. Those communities are made up of local businesses, and those local businesses are very diverse, from everything, like I said, from landlords to shoe repair.
Now, every operator I know has a moment where things got real. Maybe a deal that went sideways, or a time they had to pivot fast. You mind sharing one of those moments for you?
I'd say that the worst one was when I was building TenantCloud, and we had two things come together at the worst moment. Two terrible events come together at the worst moment. One of our investors skipped a capital call. He wouldn't respond to a phone call. He said he was going to wire it, and then we waited for the wire. It never happened. Then he wouldn't respond, nothing. So we weren't going to get a capital call. And then the worst is we got hit with fraud. We were using a product to transact rent payments, and we had been abused, and a bad actor had gone in and set up all these ways to take payments. And so we had lost $120,000 overnight from fraud. And there's nothing that makes you like shut down shop when, you're literally almost near out of money and investors aren't funding you. You're trying to build software for landlords, and then, you just get robbed. And it was very hard. You find out there's no one there to help you. There's not like there's an insurance that covers it. There is no like super police that come and say, oh, we'll investigate and here's some money while you wait. There's nothing like that. You're just out of luck, and, people don't return phone calls. In fact, the FBI told us, like, well, tell us if it ever hits to 300,000. As a local business, we were just hit. We were hit really hard. And that was where you really go, if you think of, The Godfather, that's when we went to the mattresses. We said, we're going to have to fight for this market. And, a lot of the team members had to take almost no salary and just believe in it. Some left. But those who stuck around, we just had to, get dirty for about 6 months and really grind it out, figure out. First thing was like, okay, let's stop all this. Let's hunt all the fraudsters. Let's build this and make sure we're starting clean. So we built a lot of fraud tools that ended up benefiting us later, because everyone got hit when they were a little older, but we'd already known about it. So we'd already built those tools in. So we never got hit with fraud again. And so that turned out to be a benefit. And just going through that, forcing us to squeeze and be small, ended up benefiting us as well, because those hard times meant that we had to build a lot and try to get to market really fast. And a good investor of mine has a great saying that he says that a paycheck is the worst thing for an entrepreneur. And that is really, it's not so much that paychecks are bad. It's really talking about what you do when you're pressed up against a wall. That's really what, is the difference. When things are really hard.
That's right.
You are hungry. What will you do to survive? Will you figure it out? And that's really the magic. They're awful. Anyone who's ever gone through them, they're awful. I don't recommend them at all. But they are the times where magic was made. It was just, you didn't think about it. You just did it. And that probably is also, even though they're the worst part for TenantCloud, is probably really how TenantCloud became such a market leader that it was having to build and listen to customers and figure that out during that time.
Wow, Joe. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that people don't talk about enough. And honestly, it's what separates the folks who just dabble from the ones who stay in the game long term like you. Joe, let me ask you this. What are you most focused on solving or scaling next? What's the next real goal for you?
Yeah, I mean, we really want to now dive into this DIY landlord space. So we're bringing them tools. If you think of software and the evolution of where software has gone, right? First, it was like Excel. Excel was amazing. It's like Excel and Craigslist. Excel was, all right, I want to automate, I have process. And then Craigslist was like marketplace. And then everybody started building companies that were basically Excel spreadsheets and versions of Craigslist, right? And those became large companies because they said we're gonna segment this market and just build an amazing tool that's built around that. That's when TenantCloud really got its existence. It was property management software. You either could build it all in Excel, but it was a pain and nothing was connected. So we connected you with your tenants. We made where you can collect rent and we keep track of all your accounting online and we'd help you file your 1040E really easy, all in one simple way. And you can get maintenance requests and it's automatically in your accounting. So it was a very fancy, nice way of doing a spreadsheet. The truth, it's so nice. Airlines, they should know to wait for us a little bit because they have so many flights, so many routes, everything. But now with this new AI compute power, they can, process the most optimal solution so fast. And when that happens, we no longer we've never wanted to spend time in software. The one reason we were there was because it was that or a spreadsheet. So we're like, this is easier than a spreadsheet.
So true.
We're decision makers. If you have a real estate investment, you're a decision maker. You are not data input. And so the next evolution of software, if you're looking at your software and you're like, it requires me to input information and it requires me to tell it what to do, you're in some archaic software. You shouldn't be doing it. So the next evolution that we're passionate about really bringing is something very simple. Your property management software should not be complicated. You shouldn't have to play with it. It's a conversation. You can have a conversation by text. By text, you should be able to tell your property management software, like, hey, are all the rents in? And it'll be like, boop, spit out yes or no, and then tell you who. It's like you should be able to easily have a very flow conversation. You don't need lots of buttons. If you're looking at all kinds of stuff, it's archaic. You're a decision maker. Your software should be asking you, say, hey, John Doe over at 2817 has a broken faucet. I found James who can go fix it right now for 285. Is that good? And you're yes or no. That's where you are. You're making decisions, and that's really the future of software. So that's what we are now bringing to the table to real estate investors.
Joe, I know our real estate pros are clamoring to ask this question. When is it coming to market?
Yes, if you're interested in the beta, message me now. That's you can find me easy at loca.us. But in the next 2 weeks, that will be live and it's open for anybody to plan it. Like I said, not only is it going to be free, but you'll earn money. So the first version will be totally free. And then the rewards will start building on. We have some partners that I'll bring stuff on it, but you'll be able to use that in the next 2 weeks. One of the big questions that I get are, this is going to be so disruptive to property managers. How can you do this? It's going to and I have to argue back and say this is actually going to be one of the best things for property managers out there. So if you have a small property management office or you're running anything like that, you just have to rethink what property management is. And property management doesn't have to be think of the most expensive, hard things to do as a property manager. Unfortunately, it's all the trust accounting. It's all this back office stuff that you actually don't get paid very much for, but you have to do. That is sort of a waste. Imagine if you could take that off the shelf and then you also think about the properties you manage. You're like, I got all these properties. These are all I have. I try to win more, but who's your biggest competitor are DIY landlords, as you all know. So they turn off and say, hey, you're too expensive. I'll manage it myself. And so you're in this constant battle. Well, imagine managing way more properties than you even know what you manage. And what I mean by that is when all of a sudden you have an agent that is managing properties on your behalf. Because when we did TenantCloud, we found that the normal office could manage about 100 properties per property manager. And that was the top scale. To really bring in software and get it, we get it to about 125. But it was really hard. That's the number of scale employees you need. But what if I could tell you, you can now manage infinite number of properties? Wow. That's what's coming to the table is infinite amount. So then you're like, and that's where people are like, this is too disruptive for property management. How do we change? But this is where you have to think about what property managers are. There are some things that you can automate, really simple. And fortunately, they're the things that are the most expensive and draining to your business. They are the back office. The things that can't be automated are so important, and there's so many DIY landlords who need it but don't have it right now. And those are the basic things like, okay, I need a 30-point inspection every 6 months. I need to winterize my house. I need a churn. Well, property managers have this special talent for churns, because if you look into a churn, how many different contractors do you have? I got to go have somebody do an inspection. Then I got to go hire a paint person to go look at all the paint. I got to fix all the plumbing. Then I got to patch the roof. You got to carpet clean. You got all these. Whereas a property manager is a natural born coordinator to say, actually, we either work with someone, they have it on staff already. So they say, we have a churn crew. Or they work with a number of contractors who they do it all the time. Like, I got to churn, do it. I already have set pricing. I can do it. So these are all their value add things that they can now do and don't have to worry about the messy. So it could be they're like, hey, I'm doing a turn for this customer. I've never met him before. We're going to do a turn. And then I probably won't see them again for a while, in 6 months. So all of a sudden you're bringing in way more customers than you think you had, but you're making larger revenue because the things you're now doing are the things that provide you a larger margin. And the things you're not having to do are the things that are, sucking on your costs. And so that exchange is what really is going to propel property managers. So in the market, property managers only make up about 30% of the market. So their largest competitor is the DIY of the 70%. What if you could do a lot less and make more at it, managing a much larger portion of that 70%? And that's really where the magic comes in, is being able to get exposure to that. And that's what they'll be able to have. So as a DIY landlord, all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, I have this, like, I'm still managing my property. I'm using Loca to do it. But now every 6 months, I get my inspection that goes, and because they're managing an asset. And when you manage an asset, you can't just let it sit and not ever get any repairs. You want someone proactively watching your asset, and that's where property managers are going to step in. So the way property managers really need to reframe the way they see the market, and they're actually going to be a huge opportunity for them.
And now I know that a lot of people listening are either earlier in their journey or looking to level up like you, Joe. And I think they benefit from hearing this. When it comes to building relationships and growing your network, what's made the biggest difference for you?
Ooh, taking the underdog's call. It sounds strange, but it doesn't take long in real estate before you're like, I'm such a pro. I'm at this. I'm not going to waste my time with other people who are trying to learn something. And I have made it an act because, I grew up on a reservation. I'm one of 13. We really had nothing. I was very young getting to this game. My first investment property I bought was 14. And when you're a young kid, people really don't want to hear from you because you just piss them off. So I didn't realize that then. I was just like, listen, I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to do stuff. But you just make them mad because they're like, you're too young at this, da, da, da. And there are a few that saw it as like, hey, this is an ambitious kid. I'm gonna help him out. I'm gonna take it. And I've always remembered that. So in my own, when people reach out, I do have a time in my calendar. And I run it every month where I say, anyone who can reach out, I'll take a call. We'll have a meeting, we'll do a coffee, whatever you want. And I have a time blocked out and I meet. And why that has been beneficial is at first you think like, oh, it's such a nice thing for you to do to the community, to like give back, to help those who are growing, right? But then over time, you learn that everybody out there comes from a different area, a different market. And they have a whole different network. And they're all coming to this as new. But it turns out they're actually pretty good in other spaces that you may, be new to. And so I have found an investor through one of those meetings. I have found a number of different organizations and networks by just, supporting those who are coming up. They know lots of people. And it's the gold that nobody digs for. It is those who are trying to learn and trying to do stuff. And by, giving back and helping them, you're going to find there is a lot of seeds that get planted that, end up proffering a lot of, benefit later. So.
Yeah, you can't fake that. I mean, relationships are everything in this space. All right, before we wrap, if someone wanted to reach out, connect with you, maybe collaborate to learn more about what you're doing, what's the best way for them to reach you?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
So I'm easiest if you look at Loc.us. Anywhere on Loc.us, you can find me. So that's easy. You can also find me on Twitter. It's Joe_Edgar_. But I'm on all the other social medias. Very easy to find. But Loc.us is the easiest way to find me.
Perfect. Well, listen, Joe, I appreciate your time, your story, and your perspective. We need more people in this space. We're doing it the right way. Thanks again for being here, Joe.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Freddie.
And for those of you tuning in, if you got value from this, make sure you're subscribed. We've got more conversations coming with operators just like Joseph Edgar, who are out there building real businesses. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.